All right, go.
My name is Taj, and I'm here to affirm that the USFG should pay student athletes. Throughout my debate, I'm going to define a few words, give our judging criteria, state our harms, inherency, plan, solvency, and advantages. Definitions: pay is to give someone money that is due for work done, goods received, or debt incurred. Full-time employee is, for a calendar month, an employee employed for an average of 30 hours of service per week, 130 hours service per month. Student athlete means individual who engages in, is eligible to engage in, or may eligible that plays intercollegiate sports. An athletic scholarship is a form of scholarship to attend a college or university awarded to an individual based predominantly on his or her ability to play sports. Judging criteria. Our judging criteria is if we're able to prove that it's fair to pay student athletes, then we should win. Background. Athletics in colleges have been around since the 1850s. Baseball was starting to become an establishment at U.S. universities. When the NCAA was founded by President Roosevelt in 1905, the institution was committed to the idea of not providing a salary or stipend to the student athletes who took part in its organization. It is based on the idea of amateurism, and this was a notable idea at the time, but over a century later, NCAA is no longer recognizable compared to what the organization used to be. The NCAA has modernized to take full advantage of the new kinds of sports fans, especially the kinds of media. Today's sports and athletics in the NCAA draws in around $11 billion every year for the organization. Harms. Our first harm is student athletes are in debt. According to Forbes.com, Greg Shanglin states, people often assume that athletic scholarships allow student athletes to come out of college debt-free. Not all athletes are fortunate enough to receive scholarships. Full ride typically covers the cost of tuition and fees. Oftentimes, athletes take out student loans to cover housing and other living expenses. Many student athletes are from low socioeconomic status and have to take out large loans to pay living expenses during college. Therefore, although some might argue that student athletes receive more than enough due to receiving scholarship, that's not the case. Not all students receive full ride scholarships, and even the ones that do, it's not enough for them to survive in college. Harm number 2 is that it's unfair not to pay student athletes. According to a study on uchicagonews.com, Win Hong states, since athletes have historically been considered students rather than employees, they have not been covered by general labor laws. As a result, university athletic departments can essentially dictate many aspects of student athletes' routine and engage them in long hours of practice, something that might not be possible if they had to obey general labor laws. The study claims that NCAA is allowed to maximize its profits by steadily expanding regular season and playoff bowl games since the marginal operating cost is minimal. The players have no voice in these decisions to expand the schedule and no claim on incremental revenues generated. The students are putting in several hours of their time into a sport that they love, but the NCAA chooses to take advantage of them. The athletes have no choice whether to agree in expanding the schedules or not, but they just have to go with it because if they don't, then they'll be forced to leave the team. Inherency. NCAA currently does not allow student athletes to be paid in any way. According to Listline.com, Dave Anderson states, not only is the university allowed to capitalize on its celebrity of players, but the players are contractually not allowed to do this themselves. NCAA rules state that the student athletes are not allowed to use their likeness for promotional purposes or monetary gain. This means that a well-known athlete cannot charge money for the hours that spent signing autographs, but the university is able to use the athlete to generate hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars through sales and increase enrollment, making millions of dollars based on the player's performance and personality, while bearing them from accepting even a free taco that is not hypocritical and it's morally questionable. This goes hand in hand with our harm of being unfair. schools are gaining money and enrollment is increasing off these athletes, the athletes are receiving nothing but a pat on the back and a good game. Plan. Our plan is to pay athletes minimum wage for practice that they attend, for every practice that they attend, every game that they play in. Student athletes need to be paid at least minimum wage for their hard work that they put in on the field. They are unable to have a job because of the amount of time that they spend between practice, school, and sport functions. Our plan is to set up the athletes in a program that is similar to a work-study program. The athletes will be paid by the federal current minimum wage per hour that they spend at practice on the field or the required events. Minimum wage, it will be based off of the state that the college is in. According to CNN.com, Sarah Gannon says, work-study participants who sell programs or usher athletic events are paid on average $9 an hour, but student athletes who performance create such student jobs in athletic departments are paid nothing. Solvency. If we pay student athletes, then it would be fair. By paying student athletes, we would be making sure that all of the hours of sweat and tears that the athletes put into the sport are worth it. While only a small percentage goes pro, the athletes have spent their time into something they love while they're left in debt with nothing. Advantage one is it's going to stop athletes from receiving bribes from agents. Our example is Reggie Bush, who had to give back his Heisman Trophy in 2005 for receiving a gift of $300,000 from agents. Our advantage two would be that the players wouldn't have to sell their personal memorabilia to make an income. 5 Ohio State players were in trouble. Conclusion. Today I talked about the harms of not paying student athletes, the reasons why we should pay the athletes, and the benefits of our new plan. It's absolutely ridiculous that the students that are plucked from their hometowns to generate massive levels of remote.
All right, Cossack. 2 minutes, Cossack.
Do I or him?
I'll be the one not speaking next. Jesse Cossack, go ahead.
I do have to say? No, you scared.
Yeah, just say it.
Not want me to say it?
I already started like 10
okay.
seconds ago.
Alright, so you're saying that students should be paid, the student athletes should be paid minimum?
Minimum wages.
So all student athletes?
Student athletes should be paid.